The NBA commissioner has officially stepped into the storm surrounding the Women's League, and he's not pulling any punches. At the center of it all is WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, now under intense scrutiny over growing concerns about officiating, financial entanglements, and how the league has handled its most high-profile rookie, Caitlin Clark. Silva has launched a full-scale investigation into the WNBA's officiating standards and leadership practices for the 2024-2025 season, and the findings could shake the league's foundation. But it gets even messier. Recent leaks have suggested a troubling connection, financial links between Engelbert and certain referees. The whispers are getting louder. Was Caitlin Clark being deliberately targeted? Could Engelbert have known more than she let on? From the moment Clark stepped on the court with the Indiana Fever, it was clear the spotlight was bright, but so was the pressure. Her debut season has been marred by uncalled fouls, physical hits, and questionable officiating that fans say goes far beyond typical rookie treatment. Social media has exploded with footage showing Clark getting slammed with hard screens, blindsided by elbows, and left without calls that many believe she deserved. Now, as Engelbert scrambles to contain the fallout, Silva's firm stance could mark a new era of accountability and possibly spell the end of Engelbert's leadership in the WNBA. And fans weren't just speculating, there was a clear pattern. Caitlin Clark wasn't getting the same whistle as other rookies, and this wasn't just about rookie hazing or physical welcome to the league moments. Something deeper was going on. Here's what most aren't saying out loud. Leaked league analytics from 2025, obtained through unofficial sources, showed Clark was on the receiving end of far more uncalled infractions than her fellow top rookies, while Angel Reese and Cameron Brink averaged around 1.2 to 1.4 missed contact calls per game. Clark's number shot up to 2.3, nearly 28% higher. The data, reviewed by independent analysts, tracked repeated incidents of missed fouls on drives, off-ball bumps, and physical plays that clearly threw her off rhythm. This wasn't just about hard-nosed defense. It pointed to a disturbing pattern, a systemic issue that the league allowed to fester. But then, things took an even darker turn. By early 2025, online rumors started bubbling, claims that a few WNBA referees had financial ties to Commissioner Cathy Engelbert's inner circle. Most dismissed it as internet noise, until a leaked email in June seemed to confirm the worst. What was once brushed off as conspiracy talk now had legs and receipts. With these revelations piling up, the integrity of WNBA leadership and officiating is no longer just under question, it's under investigation. An email exchange, reportedly between a high-ranking WNBA executive and a referee coordinator, hinted at something deeply troubling: discretionary bonuses for officials who aligned with league priorities. Clark's name wasn't mentioned directly, but the timing couldn't be ignored. The emails surfaced just days after a heated Indiana Fever game where Clark was clearly frustrated over repeated no calls, and fans were quick to connect the dots. And here's where the story takes a stunning twist. The leaked messages suggested that Engelbert's administration may have been subtly steering officials, not to ensure fairness but to suppress Clark's breakout impact. Why? To keep the spotlight balanced among other rising stars and avoid a one-player narrative overtaking the league. Cathy Engelbert was once celebrated as the sharp-minded leader ready to take the WNBA to new heights. But now those same leadership moves are under a harsh spotlight, and the league's credibility may be hanging in the balance. Cathy Engelbert came into the WNBA with big business credentials, but that didn't mean she had the playbook for basketball culture. As the former CEO of Deloitte, Engelbert was praised for her financial expertise, but critics say that boardroom savvy didn't translate well to managing the league's unique dynamics, especially when it came to player treatment, fan sentiment, and on-court fairness. And then came the real flashpoint: officiating. Under Engelbert's leadership, the WNBA's officiating policies drew growing backlash, with Caitlin Clark at the center of it all. Despite mounting concern, Engelbert continued to downplay the situation. Her usual response, Clark's rough treatment, was just part of the game, but many weren't buying it. In a September 2024 interview with CNBC, Engelbert dodged questions about racial and cultural tensions raised by fans and instead pivoted to the media-driven narrative of a Clark versus Reese rivalry, brushing it off as part of the entertainment. What she didn't do, acknowledge the toxic behavior brewing in online spaces, or confront the growing evidence of inconsistent officiating. WNBA stars like Breanna Stewart and the Players Union, the WNBPA, called for accountability and stronger leadership at the top. But what came next stunned everyone: the financial links. The leaked emails, though not outright smoking guns, hinted at something far more serious. Evidence pointed to referees quietly receiving bonus payments through third-party consulting firms with ties to Engelbert's former colleagues at Deloitte. These firms were officially brought in to advise on league operations, but according to insiders, their real job was far murkier, discreetly funneling money to referees who played along with the league's unspoken goal: keeping the competition balanced, and the implications were staggering. Clark's rapid rise wasn't just a breakout story, it was seen as a problem. Her popularity, her stats, her presence, all of it was allegedly viewed as a threat to the league's carefully curated narrative around parity and multiple stars. So, what did Engelbert's circle allegedly do? Reward the referees who kept Clark in check. Sources estimate these under-the-table bonuses ranged from $5,000 to $15,000 per season per official. It was a move to level the playing field, but if true, it may have done the opposite, tilting it in a dangerous calculative. The payouts may have been modest on paper, but collectively, they were enough to sway outcomes when dispersed among a hand-picked group of referees. Those $5,000, $15,000 bonuses could quietly shape the course of games, and while Cathy Engelbert scrambled to do damage control, her efforts only seemed to pour fuel on the fire. In July 2025, she issued a vague denial, insisting no wrongdoing had taken place. But instead of calming the storm, it did the opposite. The backlash grew louder, and then came the twist no one expected. Reports soon revealed that Engelbert had already been preparing to step down, blindsided by the scale of public outrage, despite sources confirming she had been warned for months about rising tensions behind the scenes. But in crisis, the spotlight often shifts to leadership, and that's exactly what happened. Enter Adam Silver. Known for his firm stance during the Donald Sterling scandal in 2014, Silver has a reputation for making hard calls when the league's integrity is on the line. And he didn't hesitate this time either. In a bold move, Silver announced a full-scale investigation into WNBA, officiating for the entire 2025 season, a sweeping review that could reshape league operations from the ground up. But Silver's investigation isn't just surface level, it's going deep. This isn't a symbolic PR move. It's a targeted crackdown that stretches beyond the referees and into the very offices that shape their policies. Silver ordered a forensic audit of the WNBA's financial records, zeroing in on any undisclosed connections between Engelbert's administration and the officiating. Staffed on independent investigative firm is now combing through game footage, referee assignments, and payment logs looking for patterns of favoritism, missed calls, or financial influence, especially those that may have worked against Caitlin Clark. And Silver has made it clear, this isn't just about Clark. In a rare and forceful public statement, he said, "This is not about one player. This is about the integrity of them." But here's why this matters far beyond the headlines. Adam Silver's aggressive response marks a turning point, not just for Caitlin Clark, but for the future of the WNBA itself. For over 2 decades, the WNBA has relied heavily on NBA support to the tune of an estimated $15 to $20 million a year. But that well of patience may be running dry. Despite a record-breaking 170% jump in viewership in 2024, averaging 1.2 million viewers per game, the league continues to post financial losses, and for Silver, that's no longer acceptable. Privately, insiders say Silver views Caitlin Clark as a generational talent, a game-changer on the level of a young LeBron James. But her mistreatment on the court, that's not just bad officiating, it's bad business. It risks alienating the massive new fan base she's brought to the sport. Behind closed doors, Silver has reportedly demanded a formal apology not just from league executives, but from the referees responsible for the most blatant missed calls, because this investigation isn't just about fixing bad calls, it's about sending a clear message. The days of riding on NBA funding without accountability are over. If the W that wants to grow, if it wants to thrive, it has to protect its stars, respect its fans, and earn its place. That future starts now. In 2024 alone, 18 of the 21 WNBA broadcasts that crossed the 1 million viewer mark featured Clark. She wasn't just part of the story, she was the story. But despite her star power, the league has struggled to maintain that same energy outside her spotlight. Meanwhile, the NBA is riding a wave of fresh excitement, with storylines like the Cooper Flag versus Bronny James, rivalry lighting up social media and driving fan engagement. Flag, taken No. 1 overall by the Dallas Mavericks, and Bronny carrying the weight of the James legacy, are already generating more buzz than most WNBA games that don't feature Clark, and that's where the WNBA may have missed its moment. Under Cathy Engelbert's leadership, Clark didn't just endure rough play and officiating lapses, she faced subtle, deliberate slights. Take the 2024 All-Star Game, for example. Despite leading the league with 8.4 assists per game, Clark was inexplicably limited to just 15 minutes on the floor. Fans were confused, and later insiders confirmed the truth. The decision came from league higher-ups, who wanted to spotlight veteran players instead of the breakout. This wasn't just an oversight, it was a calculated decision. Limiting Clark's spotlight wasn't accidental. Sources suggest it was a strategic move, driven by Cathy Engelbert's obsession with maintaining a balanced league narrative, one where no single player, not even a generational talent, outshines the rest. But here's what Engelbert didn't count on: Caitlin Clark's resilience despite everything stacked against her. Clark delivered a stellar rookie campaign. She averaged 19.2 points per game, led the Indiana Fever to the playoffs, and rightfully earned the 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year honor. Still, the pressure showed. In post-game interviews, Clark often held back tears of frustration, staying composed, but candid. "I just want to play basketball and be treated fairly." Her fans, however, weren't as diplomatic. Social media exploded with outrage targeting officiating, Engelbert's leadership, and what many saw as a league working against its own biggest asset. And now, as Engelbert quietly prepares her exit, her legacy is being rewritten, not with triumph, but with missed chances. Instead of leveraging Clark's surge in popularity to lock in a groundbreaking independent media deal for the WNBA, Engelbert allowed the league's $2.2 billion 11-year contract to be bundled into the NBA's larger Brodo BCAST package. That it was a move that may have cost the WNBA its best shot. The move might have made sense on paper, but it sold the WNBA short. Experts believe a standalone deal could have pulled in a staggering $3.5 billion. Meanwhile, Adam Silver is steering the league in a different direction, calling for deep structural changes, including tighter control over referee conduct. But here's the real shocker. Silver's investigation could shake the league to its core. If financial misconduct is proven, it won't just stop at suspensions, legal consequences, and major sanctions. Maybe on the table is demand for an apology to Caitlin Clark goes beyond words. It's a statement of intent. The message is clear. If the WNBA wants to grow, it must stand by its stars. Clark's treatment didn't just spark outrage, it exposed the deeper issues hiding beneath the surface. And now, Silver looks ready to confront them, even if it means rewriting the legacy of Engelbert himself. If this story grabbed your attention, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We've got more coming your way. Stay tuned.